What brings out the worst in a person? Lack of sleep or being hungry. Fun fact, if you feel like you hate everyone, you need to eat. If you feel like everyone hates you, you need to sleep. Okay, I need more sleep, or everyone else needs to eat. Fair. Hunger and fatigue. I know that's true. Back when I struggled with eating disorders, I was such a bitch when I did things like not eat for a week. Just running on water and self-loathing. I'm bipolar. Sometimes my body forgets it's hungry, so I'll go a day or two without eating. Then the hangry monster comes out. Desperation, in many forms. Oh yes. This is a big one. I've seen a lot of ugly things come out of me when I've been desperate for something, and along with anyone I've known growing up, I still catch myself acting irrationally from time to time because I forget to remember this. The Social Security Office, or the DMV. I've been to hell. I spell it Van Ion. That's been there, knows precisely what I mean, stood there, and I've waited and choked back the urge to scream. I'll never not upvote a Primus reference. Man, they suck. Illness. I saw my grandma turn into a bitter, angry old lady when she had cancer, and it happened twice. She had always been hot-headed and stubborn, but cancer, the first time breast cancer, the second time pancreatic cancer with metastases all over, turned her into a completely different person. She was angry, depressed, bitter. She started rotting in her soul. She was amazing when she was healthy, and I miss her terribly every day. Having worked at a nursing home before, I've seen this plenty of times. The 5 stages of grief/dying aren't an automatic process for everyone. Some people get stuck at certain stages, like anger. I always thought the stages of grief were questionable. I've never bargained or felt anger. Sadness, yes, but never anger. I think people might act like one of the stages, but they don't always happen chronologically. The 5 stages was originally intended to describe the experience of people dying, based on Elizabeth Kubler-Ross observations of and interviews with the terminally ill, not to describe what people grieving the loss of someone would experience. Agreed that grief is not necessarily linear nor chronological. That makes sense. Chronic pain. Yes, pain will. People wonder why older folks get mean sometimes. Now that I'm 50, I get it. Pain makes you powerless. That turns to anger quickly. I hate the fact that my body dictates what I can and can't do anymore. Yeah, long term. Chronic pain wears you down to a nub. Patience for others goes out the window completely. It hasn't quite ruined my marriage yet. We are 17 years in, and 10 with mild chronic pain. But the last 4 years have been awful for me, the chronic pain/health patient, and my husband. He's had to take on a carer role that he didn't ask for, and I don't want him to have. I can't do as much because always feel like shit, and it has affected our relationship deeply. He's never going to leave me, but it can make it hard to enjoy each other as we used to be able to. I'm so sad I got sick. Plus we relatively young, 36 and 37, so all our mates are off doing amazing things and we are left behind. Can't have kids, I'm too sick. Can't see mates as much. Can't even get out of the house some weeks. I had to change to part-time work because I couldn't keep a full-time job, and he's now stuck in a job he hates because he's responsible for bringing in the money for rent and bills. It's very hard for us right now. I can't see it improving much either. I love my husband and I feel terrible for putting him through this. As bad as the situation is, it's heartening to hear that your relationship is still strong. I don't know if you do this already, but I think that you can endure if you focus your love on him intensively. It's probably hard after so many years of marriage and you fall into a groove, but if you're always waiting for him to come home after work, thinking about things he might like, sending him loving text messages and just generally being the light of his life, which is one of the things you can do in spite of your chronic pain, he will never be stuck in a job he hates because he has a source of pure love to come home to. Mario Kart and Mario Party. I don't know if anybody else remembers the really N64 parties where you had to rotate the joystick. We broke so many joysticks using the palm of our hands for that instead of our thumbs. There were days after intense games where I had to explain to the teachers that I wasn't being abused. The giant split wound in my palm was just from playing Mario Party. To this day, close to 20 years later, I still walk cocky about the game. I managed to pick up 5 to 7 stars in one round. The exact number is disputed, but 5 is the agreed number. It was on the map with the rolling eyeball that chased you around. I used an item for extra dice, got an insanely high roll, picked up the star on the board and got lucky. The star kept being put down in front of me. So between my high roll and the eyeballs chasing me around, I managed to collect my massive treasury of stars. I certainly peaked out young. Fun fact, Nintendo got sued over that due to the high amount of injuries caused by the mini games, cuts, punctures, blisters and friction burns on people's palms and hands. Under the settlement, Nintendo agreed to provide 4 sets of sports gloves to each Mario Party owner who sends in a request. https://www.net.com/culture/Nintendo offers glove to prevent joystick injuries / war. Huh. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. You'll war. Huh. Good god. What is it good for? Being with a manipulative, toxic partner. The longer you are with someone like that, the more your unhealthy coping mechanisms become entrenched to the point you don't know how to function in a healthy relationship. Doesn't have to be a partner. It can be a close friend. As I have found, you don't always realize that they are changing you, but they are. True. It's kind of crazy how the company you keep can rub off on you without even realizing it. As babies and children, we learn to repeat and mimic what our parents do. So much so when we get older, we become more like our parents. Or we see it that way. If this is our base skill, to learn how to behave as we are children, then of course we will unconsciously repeat it, or build up defenses to combat it. Still kinda sucks when you don't realize it, but it's one of the mysteries of human interaction. Grief. Especially when the death was a murder. Some victims' family members turn into sadists who just want to watch somebody die in agony, whether the evidence proves their guilt or not. That kind of grief destroys the soul. Being with wrong person. It's amazing when the light bulb goes off in your head and you think, you know what? I actually don't have to deal with this. Bye. Falling out of love is more powerful than falling into it. Inheritance/estate distribution. Attorney here. Can confirm. Crab legs at a buffet. They turn into goddamn seagulls. Specifically in Las Vegas. When hard-working, dedicated employees see a co-worker get raises and promotions while they're passed by, especially when that employee is lazy and not productive, but somehow is cozy with the boss, it really makes you mad. Like, this guy sucked so bad. The company we are contracted to would complain that he was never around. Somehow he got the spot. I have watched him not do crap for hours. I get the same exact pay as someone else who walked in the doors, and I've been there over 5 years. I got the new assignment, and I got rewarded after they told me I was going to get it by having more work instead. They are switching me out to a different site. Let the place go to crap because I'm not there. I'm done. Sorry. It builds deep resentment when someone else who you have heard with my own ears the complainants against him, and he got it over me. Power and ego. I feel like this should be at the top. Anger. There's an acronym for dealing with this, which many of you probably have heard before, but it's still pretty helpful. H, are you hungry? Are you angry? L, are you lonely? T, are you tired? If you're feeling any of these things, it's best to take a step back and address those things either by eating, taking a walk to cool off, texting a friend and reaching out, or just wrapping up what you're doing and getting good sleep. In short, you're not you when you're short of these things and you become irritable. And like Op says, the worst is brought out in you. So make it a priority to take care of these things so you have a clear, rational conscience and thoughts. Getting good sleep. People always say, don't go to bed angry, but honestly, it's one of the best things you can do. It's like a hard reset for your emotions. It helps you see things more clearly because you're not in the heat of the moment anymore. Promotion to a position of authority. Traffic. Why did I have to scroll this far down for this one? Money. And not just for the person with the money. A lot of friends and family show their true colors when they find out someone's loaded, or when they just think that someone's loaded. I got a new job with a 40% pay raise many years ago, and suddenly everyone expected me to buy their dinner. They would invite me out to eat and then expect me to pay, and I was an asshole if I didn't. And he didn't even buy AskReddit gold. Other people. This is the one. Politics. It's the worst when people have a black or white mentality with it. My politics are right, so I'm good, and anyone who disagrees is stupidized / phobic / Nazi / communist / etc. Anger. It can bypass both logic and empathy, leading to events that just about everyone, including the person holding the anger, later regret. The painting of Ivan the Terrible holding his dying son in his arms after having he himself mortally wounded him in a fit of rage is one of the best symbolic images I've seen of this. Here it is. https://upload wikipedia/com/3/3/ivpercent c3%a1_rel_cu_ri_c3%a1 jpg. Those eyes are horrifying. Loneliness can at times. Being hurt a few too many times by people you love. We engage in mild amounts of sociopathy. Jealousy. This should be at the top. I've seen people do horrible things to people who don't deserve it just because a person made them feel insecure. I had a friend that was targeted by her coworkers because she was a good employee. They tried to drive her to suicide. It's just insane what people will do. Anger is fleeting, but jealousy stays and festers in people. Anxiety. Being in pain. Feeling of power. Marcus Aurelius would beg to differ. He's the exception that proves the rule. Remaining virtuous while being the most powerful man in the world speaks more to his incredible will. The need to feel superior, to the point that they can never be or do any wrong. Everyone else is a problem and below them.